So firstly, thank you so much everyone for taking your time out and being a part of the panel. I am extremely excited about this panel because it's a very diverse panel, people from very diverse and very different backgrounds and experiences. See, the Yarn Bazaar's idea is we are a managed B2B marketplace for yarn buying and selling. But apart from yarn, we've always focused on a lot of content creation because we personally felt very strongly that there's a big vacuum when it comes to knowledge, especially for smaller players in India. And Indian textile industry की बात करें, it is still fairly 80-85% unorganized players. So the idea was to share a lot of insights, a lot of success stories, a lot of information on textiles, which can probably, we hope, can empower people to kind of grow their business. Right now, as we speak, we've seen there are two major macro opportunities available for us. One is China plus one, and the other is Bangladesh, which has been a key supplier in textiles of lately, is expected to graduate from the LDC status, which is the least developing country status, which means prices of Indian suppliers and Bangladesh suppliers will be treated the same without any benefit for Bangladesh in terms of preferential treatment or custom duties or things like that. So we feel both these opportunities A are very, very large, and B, they're very time sensitive. Because if globally companies are looking at reorchestrating or realigning their supply chain, and if we miss this wave, then probably it's a big opportunity loss for us. So which is when we started talking to a lot of global fashion brands and other players outside of India, and especially those who are not doing a lot of sourcing from India. And one of the key factors that came up or which got highlighted of why they're not doing more sourcing from India, why they're shying away from sourcing from India was quality. That every big player outside feels that one of the most important factor for them is quality and consistency of quality. And having to build in trust for Indian textile value chain to become a supplier or to be perceived as a quality supplier is very, very important. Right, based on that, we thought it would be great to invite certain people from diverse backgrounds in textiles and share your viewpoints on quality. Recently we did another similar roundtable, and I very clearly remember Sanjay Ji Arora from Wazir was one of the panelists, and one of the statements that he said stuck to me. He said, although we are a manufacturing industry, we need to think and act like a service industry. जिस दिन हमारा अप्रोच एक सर्विस बिजनेस जैसा हो जाएगा, that day we'll start focusing on important elements like customer delight, customer satisfaction, quality, and things like that, and then suddenly we can see a mindset shift in the industry. So before I open the panel for further discussion, I would first humbly request Amit ji to start the discussion with one key question. He's sitting out of Poland. And we always joke about it because I interact a lot with Amit ji. Indian companies के लिए आप domestic हो और European companies के लिए आप domestic हो. So he's got a very good strategic positioning as a Sharda group there, and they do a lot of textile sourcing across the value chain. So sir, when you look at servicing global companies or brands and you work with a lot of big players, what do you think are certain key elements or factors that they look at when they are doing their sourcing, and how do you operate as Sharda Group?
First of all, namaskar, good evening to the panelists out here, and thank you, Pratik, for getting us together. It's a platform where we would like to discuss and share our experiences. And आज के दिन जो है ना, manufacturing is done by say few thousand companies in India. How are we different to those companies? So I'll give you a very good example of our group. We have a manufacturing unit in India, but then simultaneously what we have done is in the entire chain is we have our sales and marketing team out here. We have a warehousing facility in Europe, which allows us to benefit out of these manufacturing facilities. Plus, we procure from more than 21 different countries. We have a range of suppliers, which are more than 400 suppliers at this point of time. So we're optimizing and making best use of the knowledge, the power, and the kind of bandwidth we have got out here. देखिए आज कोई भी यूरोपियन क्लाइंट को इंडिया से खरीदना है तो it can be Mr. A, Mr. B, or Mr. C. It could be they could buy from so many different companies. But we have to be different than a general typical supplier from India. Now, how could we be different? in this situation is we could offer something additional to what we are offering. Today, offering a good quality product has become a standard system. Good price, we all know, uske bina kaam hoga nahi. But besides good quality and good price and timely delivery, what are we able to offer? What we are able to offer is, something additional to those products. So what we did was, what are we able to offer to the client? हमने client का system समझा कि भाई वो we are acting as their purchase managers and as their finance directors. ठीक है? So that saves a lot of time and money of the client in today's time, which is the most important factor in the first world country. ठीक है? अगर ये दो चीज आपने आइडेंटिफाई कर ली तो काम खूब हो सकता है क्लाइंट के साथ में. Now, what we did is we tell our clients that you don't pay anything extra than what are your actual prices, what you're buying from India. ठीक है? Now everybody would be wondering कि भाई ये पैसा कहाँ से कमा रहे हैं फिर? So, so what we do is, if they are buying at LC 90 days, we give them open credit of 90 days or 120 days. Now we say that, or they're buying on cash, we say that don't use your money. You use our services in terms of what we are offering is a credit, which is insurance covered, which is factored, and at the rate of say 2, 3, 4% mein ho jata hai wo. So that is the product, a tool which we are using. Second, what we are using is, in case the client is insistent, they say, you know what, we have got LC facilities which are costing us nothing. Then we say, then don't open as LC 90 days, but please open LC 180 days or 360 days. Now people in India wonder, अरे 360 दिन की LC हमारे तो Reserve Bank ही allow नहीं करेगी. Now that is where Indian companies have to align with certain people, whether it is in Singapore, Dubai, or it could be anywhere in the world. It could be in Europe. For example, per se with us, if agar aapke paas client hai, what we did in Turkey was with large suppliers, large manufacturers, we put in a system that we'll take LC 270 days, 230 days, 360 days, and that really helped them to procure from us maximum goods in terms of versus our competitors who are based anywhere in the world. I'm not talking about only in India. इसके सिवाय हमने क्या आइडेंटिफाई किया कि आज के दिन nobody wants to, everybody wants to save time on travel. उनको assurance मिलता है quality का. So it's a complete package what we are offering. And there are clients who say that, what, I want to order a container, but I will take this container in, say, assuming 4 weeks time or 6 weeks time. I don't have a place or an option to offload so many different containers in my warehouse or in my factory. Is it possible for you to stock our goods? Now that is what we went into that value addition also. We stock their goods, whereas it's backed by the contracts with the clients in Germany, whether it is in Austria, whether it is in assuming Ukraine or in Belarus, or it could be in Portugal. So एक तो आपका manufacturing side आपका strong है, but then you have to be on the other side to have your strength also. And that is what I keep telling time and again to Indian companies, that अगर हमें business बढ़ाना है, तो हमें अलग वे में सोचना पड़ेगा. Then कि otherwise they are going to always take us for ride. आज की situation है जो market अभी, there is a tremendous gap, and it's more of a buyer's market than supplier's market. Unfortunately, prices are falling continuously. So, to avoid these kind of situations, we should be prepared in business in the coming time. So, I would request and suggest everyone out here that, we should look into these aspects. अगर आप लोगों में से कोई अलाइन करना चाहता है हमारे साथ में, आपको लगता है कि भाई यूरोप में आप लोगों के बैंडविड्थ है या हमारे ज्वाइन करके आपको बिजनेस को इंक्रीज करना है, वी आर ओपन फॉर इट. वी हैव इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, वी हैव थिंग्स इन प्लेस. लेट्स ग्रो टुगेदर. हमारा तो बिजनेस सही, व्हाट वी आर इनटू इज वी आर इनटू yarns, fabrics, into home textiles, we are into apparel. We are doing multiple businesses at multiple ends. So when you talk about trade between India and Poland, we are #1 ranking company in terms of textiles, and in total trade between India and Poland, there are almost 24,000 companies working between India and Poland. We are in top 10 companies. So हमारा जो contribution है industry में, it's largely, and of course our heart beats with India, our procurement, and always our priorities are with India. So let's grow together. and let's see what we can do. Not only the panelists out here, but people who are listening to this conversation, we would be more than happy to give our helping hand and to see how we can align together to grow business.
Super. So thank you so much for sharing that, sir. And Piyush has also joined us. So it would be great if we can do a quick introduction round, starting from Vikas ji. So Vikas, if you could quickly introduce yourself, please.
Namaskar to everybody, and thanks to Yarn Bazaar for giving an opportunity for us to be present on this platform. I do belong to the textile industry. I have about 3 decades of experience, mainly in the textile machinery, selling and manufacturing. My last stint was with Saurer as the director India operations. So yeah, my take on the quality is more from the machinery side. Of course, we have experience on the yarn side also, but I think quality is generic to all aspects of life and business. So yeah, I will be sharing my thought points at some point of time. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir.
I'm Mr. Vilas Garat. I'm a shop floor man working in the industry for last more than 50 years on a various capacity, right from supervisor to manager, CEO, and all these things. And last 12 years, I'm doing my consultancy. After pandemic, no projects, but before pandemic, I have made about 3 projects. One of the main project is the Oswal Hammerley, then Muraj Brahmana. So basically, giving more emphasis on a Italian technology and techniques of a design-oriented fabric. And I'm a firm believer that as long as people are wearing the cloth, textile industry will never be sick. We have to come out of that. Our sick mind has to be converted into the proper mind. That's all.
And you're also associated with Textile Association of India, right?
Yeah, I am a trustee of a Textile Association of India, Mumbai unit. At the same time, I am a mentor of change for Government of India working under Niti Aayog. And I have my company, Garat and Associates, where I'm doing a mentoring, advising, and my main mentoring nowadays after pandemic is mentoring to the non-performers, because performers have been mentored by everybody. I take the challenge of making the non-performer as a successful performer. These are my portfolios.
Thank you so much, sir. Manish, if you can have your introduction, please.
Yeah, namaskar to all. I am Manish Joshi. Around 3 decades of experience in right from yarn to garment. Past 3 years, I have become a management and marketing consultant. I run an office in Brussels and Turkey in Istanbul. I am not with Saranji's level, but yes, I am also selling yarn fabrics to Turkey, Morocco, and garments to Europe. This is my background, and I'm a hands-on guy. Have production experience as well.
सर ये 3 साल का
good
जो
to
आपका
meet all.
कंसल्टेंसी का एक्सपीरियंस रहा है उसके पहले आप क्या कर
जी।
रहे थे इफ यू कैन क्विकली थ्रो सम लाइट ऑन द चेन्नई प्रोजेक्ट एंड बिफोर दैट आल्सो
Okay,
बिकॉज़ वी
I'm-
heard in the market that Manish Joshi was a blue-eyed boy of LNG group and all of that, so if you
Yeah.
can quickly throw some
So I
light on that as
started
well.
briefly speaking, I started my career in Urban Mill. I am a BTech textile technologist. I was there in the year when Arvind went Renovision, what they gave. So we were, JCB was pulling out UTC and Sudocoma airjet were being erected. So I was there first year erection team. Then later I mastered in business export management basically. And thereafter I worked a lot with Maral Overseas, which is the next division of LNJ Bhilwara Group. Right from export executive to the CEO of one of their units. I grew there. And thereafter I, that was a very, my learning curve was very high there because I started from yarn sales. We used to maintain a warehouse in UK. At that time, there was tax benefit with Isle of Man. So that routing was done. And then thereafter I sold fabric and then later garments. And then I run their project. So that was my first project per se, where from scratch land I created a dedicated factory for Marks and Spencer. At that time, Marks and Spencer was not in India. So I was making around 5,000 pieces for Marks and Spencer and later 5,000 pieces, so total 10,000 pieces per day for Hugo Boss. So that was a good experience. And thereafter I did this Chennai project, wherein last 10 years, it's around 10 years, I have modernized their units and implemented all the systems that relate to quality control, process control, and everything. As a consultant, I will say still the learning goes. I am still learning, and I'm happy to restart yarn business. It's looking quite good to me, and I have created in my own way a network of mills. I'm able to sell from man-made yarn, multi-filament yarn to cotton yarn to blended yarns, even wool acrylic blend yarns and viscose yarns. This type of specialty yarns also I'm doing, which is giving me insights into the production of other countries as well. So that is the learning I take from there. And garment business, so in Europe, I am very strongly connected to retailers and I'm getting the business. It's starting.
Great, sir. Amit, if we can have your introduction, please.
Yeah, hi. This is Amit Lat. I'm based in Poland for the last 25 years, and originally, of course, the family business belongs from Bhilwara and from Burhanpur in Madhya Pradesh. We mainly deal into entire supply chain of textiles. Right? You can start from raw bleach cotton to yarns, to fabrics, to apparel business, to home textiles, and we supply to private labels, to discounters, to supermarkets, to hypermarkets across Europe. Our strength is, of course, Central East Europe, where the business is flourishing, it's growing, and there is no tomorrow for it, in terms of when we look at the ways things are changing. And India, unfortunately, has not tapped this market. It's an untapped market by many Indians. Indians go typically to mainland Europe, to traditional markets, because they feel, "Arey, Central East Europe में क्या पड़ा है, वहाँ business थोड़ी ना होगा." Just to give you a gist, what is the market share? Around 16 billion euro का apparel garment का business हो सकता है यहाँ पर. It's a very solid market, and there are some leading brands and private labels from Poland who are doing exceedingly well. They are in High Street London, High Street New York, and majorly in all major European countries. So business hai, opportunities are there, and we are making best use of it at this point of time.
Sir, December recently, 4 months back, you were in India for an award. If you could quickly tell us कि वो क्या चीज था?
Right. So I was given by the government of India a recognition, I would say, award called Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award, which is the highest civilian honor given to an Indian living abroad. and there were 27 Indians who were selected among 40 million Indians living abroad. And I was involved in a very crucial operation called Operation Ganga, which was evacuation of students out of Ukraine via 4 countries. But, I was in sync with General V.K. Singh together in team of our Ambassador, Her Excellency Nagma Malay, and the MEA team in terms of ensuring safe passage of our students, whether it was coordinating of flights, Indian Air Force or any other airline which were flying out from India into Poland, or arranging necessary accommodations, coordinating. So overall execution of this Operation Ganga, which took us 2 weeks of our life. I never expected myself that, I will be able to perform and to do such a brave thing. We are a typical businessman. And I remember that vaguely I was supposed to leave for Turkey with my team for some meetings. And a call rings. It was Friday evening from the Indian Embassy asking for certain assistance. And that assistance, when it started, brought me into the entire thing where, our ambassador said, Amitji, agar aap aayenge, to it would be of great help, at the border. And I thought to myself, okay, I'll go for a day, but never realized that that one day would turn into days actually of that entire operation. And of course, it was a Government of India initiative. Without a great leadership at the top level, it would not be possible. And this shows, how India's strength is globally. And the Indian diaspora, which represents India, largely not into business, but when it comes to such situations, whether it is Sudan, whether it is Turkey, Operation Dos or Operation Kaveri, I can see there are a lot of Indians actively involved and helping our Indian nationals, and not only Indian nationals, but other nationals also.
Thank you so much for sharing that, sir. And
Bravo.
Piyush, if we can have your quick introduction, please.
My name is Piyush Chandarana, and presently I'm working in Chiripal Group as a business head in Ahmedabad and looking after the Vishal denim. We are basically a denim production facility in a textile park. We have textile park at Dholi, which is a 60-kilometer from Ahmedabad. Total, my experience is 30 years in a majority in textile, and previously I was connected with RSWM Limited. And there also we are manufacturing the denim fabric, PV fabric, knitted fabric, and yarn. Before that, I was with the Soma Textile, Birla Century, and my career start with Anil Starch Product Limited, who is manufacturing a starch product. I'm basically a BE mechanical, and then I have done MBA and so many other courses I have done, but it's a list of courses, so I do not want to go through that. But yes, basic my education is BE and then MBA. My family, if I will talk of myself, and I have a single wife, luckily. So
we all are like you only.
Yeah, because I have not listened your introduction, so I have to specify that. No? So this is about me, and yes, I'm presently in Ahmedabad. Previously, I was in Rajasthan, in Baswada.
Right.
So
Thank you
this
so
is
much.
about me. Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you all of you for sharing your introductions. With that, I would want to get started with the first question. Since the topic is quality and the importance of quality or quality as a key to success for Indian textile industry, I would like to ask the first question to Manish here. Sir, आपके नजर में what is the importance of quality for Indian textile industry?
When we talk about quality, uh, generally any industry, it's the base. Quality is the base of your business. If you do not have any control on the quality, sometimes you can give a very good product, and sometimes you will not be able to give good product, and this results in unreliability and inconsistencies. So the importance of quality in textile as other industries is even like automobile, you cannot make any mistake because otherwise the cars will not roll properly. It's the same in textile industry. It is of very high, highly critical and important point in every stage, right from plucking of the cotton. When I was in Maral, we had to literally wanted to avoid contamination in yarn. This is a perennial problem with Indian yarn. You will always have red and blue fibers because that poly bag and that stacks and that gets into ginning and then it gets into spinning. Oh, we can spend money on that Cyro technology, which is not very perfect. Still on the corner also you will put advanced technology. Still it is not perfect. In the fabric of any Indian company, you will have yarn contamination. So it is of that importance. And it starts from the very first step. So what we did was to eradicate contamination. We started providing cloth bags to the farmers to bring it to the ginner. We then nominated ginners. We cleaned their ginning and started monitoring the ginning. And then we started purchasing the yarn. We succeeded up to 80% because that mixing. So the point I want to say is that quality is a attitude. It is not something to be achieved. Your mind has to, change, and you have to look from. You have to look every corner in your factory, in your process, in your purchase, in your production, in your packing, in your finishing, and that's the importance of quality.
So what is
Main
really
thing
fact
is
is that cases that you mentioned that कि farmer से जो cotton आ रहा है फिर जिनिंग के आ रहा है उसमें contamination बैग पैकिंग में हो रहा है. It is one way
इंडिया
to
में
say
कैसा
कि
प्रॉब्लम
ऐसे
है
काम
कि
होता है.
वो प्रतीक, इंडिया में कैसा प्रॉब्लम है कि कॉटन आज भी बुलक कार्ट्स में जाता है. ठीक है, तो क्वालिटी तो वहीं से स्टार्ट हो गया. तो नो बिग कंपनी और स्मॉल कंपनी इज विलिंग टू सेट अ सिस्टम देयर. Unless you set a system, it's not going to improve. Then it comes to the ginner. If you go to the ginner, ओपन लैंड होता है. जिनिंग की फैक्ट्री बहुत छोटी होती है. ओपन लैंड में ओपन ही पड़ा होता है कॉटन, और फिर वो जिन होता है. जिन होने के बाद बेल बनता है. बेल बन के भी वो ओपन ही पड़ा रहता है. तो वी प्रोवाइडेड इवन जिनर्स बैग जिसके अंदर रैप होके मिल में आएगा माल, सो दैट एक्सटर्नल कंटामिनेशन जितना ज्यादा अवॉइड हो सके हो. लोग क्या सोचते हैं कि टू अचीव क्वालिटी इट इज अ कॉस्ट. तो क्लॉथ बैग लगेगा, लोगों को देंगे, सब भाव ज्यादा मांगते हैं, पैसा लगता है. बट व्हाट वी वर एबल टू क्रिएट वाज our customers came to us because our fabric was having less number of defects, our yarn was having less number of contamination. हमको ऑस्ट्रेलियन कॉटन नहीं खरीदना पड़ेगा व्हाइट माल बनाने के लिए. So all that actually when you come to marketplace, so when you stand out, you sell at a premium. सब कवर हो जाता है. But this mindset is not available in Indian industry generally speaking. आपने बोलेंगे कि एक चक्कर ज्यादा लगाना है तो पूरा गणित आ जाता है कि नहीं इससे तो 50 पैसा पीस बढ़ जाएगा भैया. बट ये जो माइंडसेट है, ये जब तक हमारी इंडस्ट्री में खत्म नहीं होगी. आज मैं चाइना से माल इंपोर्ट करता हूँ. You will laugh at me now. There is a company in China. I am buying organic 100% organic fabric from him. His source of organic cotton is India, but उसके माल में मेरे को कभी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आता है. I used to inspect, third party inspect कराता था मैं. After 5 shipments I have stopped. It's now 6 years. I am not doing any inspection because I know it is because of the mindset. इतना मैंने कॉटन का बताया आपको, वही आदमी वैसा ही कॉटन खरीद के मेरे को ट्रबल फ्री प्रोडक्ट देता है. So in India, we have to change our attitude, we have to change our mindset, and then we can command the respect. And China is doing that at a lower price than us. This Chinese fabric I am importing is costing me lesser than Indian mill. Landed. Okay, that duty part I don't pay because I am exporting. But landed cost is cheaper than Indian mill. So you can understand that a cotton traveling all the way to China, getting processed coming all the way back to India is still cheaper.
Very well
So
said,
it
sir.
means that and why it is cheaper, because they have the mindset of quality, that they have understood the importance of quality. Their processes are set. They are not wasting anything, and they are delivering the product at a right time. So that is the importance of quality in textile industry, and the big retailers, they want in volume, and India doesn't have that type of capacity. So unless we have a sort of protocols in place, right from spinning to ginning to spinning to fabric making to garment making, this is of the very core nature if we want to really grow outbid Bangladesh. You said Bangladesh में duty LDC खत्म हो जाएगा. Okay, we are hearing that from since so many years. I am assuming आज नहीं तो कल हो ही जाएगा. But there also they have huge factories. They are organized now. It is not like 5 years before or 10 years before. They are pretty organized. Their production is very high, and they have also understood the meaning of quality. And
Sir, my big takeaway from what you've said is जो आपने वो story बताई कि see, it is one thing to say कि ऐसा ही होता है और कुछ कर नहीं सकते, and it is another thing to be proactive about it. जैसा आपने बताया bags दे रहे हो to kind of avoid those issues.
the whole
I think
supply
very-
chain has to be aware. The whole supply chain has to be aware. तो आज गारमेंट को जो कपड़ा चाहिए तो कपड़े वाले को वो धागा चाहिए, वो धागे वाले को वो कपास चाहिए. ये चेन को ये माइंडसेट चेंज करके ही ये पॉसिबल है.
तो सर बिकॉज
Each
माइंडसेट
one
की
of them
बात
has
हो
to-
रही है, बिकॉज माइंडसेट
Sorry?
की बात हो रही है, आई थिंक काफी बार क्या होता है ना कि a lot of promoters or management have the mindset to implement good quality practice, but really what matters is whether the team, whether the employee, whether the labor, whether they are actually executing it. I would like to ask you, because Piyush has also worked with organizations. Currently, he's with Cheripal Group, a large organization. Before that, he was the CEO of RSWM, again a very large organization.
I know.
Anyway,
Sure, sir. So what I was asking you is if you could, throw some light on the importance of employee training and engagement in quality control, because we've discussed so far that quality is important, but it's more of an attitude, and how do we ensure that attitude can come into place with all your team also?
yeah, true. I mean to say, Mr. Manishi has given a very good point that China or Bangladesh, they are far better. That's we are facing. Yes, in India, there is an issue, but yes, now if you can see, the India has to also come up with same levels, or definitely there is a lot of things to be done in a whole supply chain. I would like to share my experience with the industry only. Like when I was in RSW, in fact, Mr. Manishi told he's also in Maral, so it's the same group of
Sir,
companies.
you know me as a head of Meenakshi. We have done some developments together.
Yeah, that
Last
is.
development, we
Yeah.
know each other.
Yeah. That's why I was not knowing that.
I receive your videos in you WhatsApp even today.
Oh, is it? That's great. I was not knowing, and in fact, it's good that in a common platform we discussing right about the quality. But yeah,
That's it.
your voice is cracking. Yeah, Pratik ji, your voice is creaking.
No, sir, I was just joking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. I would like, I mean to say, first of all, when we are talking about industry, textile industry, everybody must know what is the quality. Because when I was working in the industry, in fact, everybody knows that we are number one. But not reality, they knows, I mean, the worker, if worker have awareness about the quality, then definitely our quality will improve. So what we were doing, I mean to say, first, let worker knows about the quality, let our base people knows about quality. So we have prepared the quality circle for that. I mean, so the member of that uh, uh, is only the worker, and one staff person will be there, and they are doing a self management system. Like if they have like I would like in inspections, we are putting a worker, I mean to say the viewers who is a worker is going just. So yeah, I would like to tell here is awareness of quality is definitely required in the supply chain management. And I would like to share my experience, like inspections, we are calling all the worker of at inspection level, like weaving, dyeing, and spinning, so that they aware about what the quality is going on. Same thing, like, and they do the self management, like they themselves understand what is the issue and what they have to do at the bottom of the I mean to say, on the machine, on the floor. So this is very important. The first thing is very important, that they aware about the quality, because wherever I work, I find that they understand that we are number one. Even what the Mr. Manish ji telling us, that he is getting from China the best quality, but in India we are not getting. But if you ask me, if I will ask my people of production or quality or wherever, they said we are number one. So it is very important that we must aware them that where is where we are. To be very honest, Mr. Pratik ji, unfortunately, wherever I work, this awareness is not there. And once they aware about that, what is the quality requirement? I mean to say customer requirement. I do not say the quality requirement. I say the customer requirement. Definitely, whole system will improve. When we started awareness with the worker or with the staff, that we are here and our customer is looking for these things, the system automatically improve. They make themselves the group, they make the quality circle in whole system, they make the Kaizen, they make the 5S systems themselves. They come up, okay, we are just facilitator for all these things. And the slowly, I understand that the quality was really improved. And I know when I was, because Chiripal I have just joined before 3 months back, so I would give the example of the RSWM itself. When I have joined RSWM before 7 years back, and right now where we are, it's market is telling, I mean to say, the in a denim manufacturing, the LNJ denim is number one right now in the market because of this quality. Second thing, uh, Indian mentality, what I understand, is always a hiding mentality. Like one example I would like, we never say the right thing for the product. Like one example is when I am selling denim, we said it is a 4-point system, but really we are not following. Then we are not writing that this is not the 4-point, or said is not matching, or any other. I mean, so when you are open with the customer, that look, I am giving you this quality, you will get this quality, then customer will definitely believe you that okay, whatever you are speaking, you are getting. Like again, I would like to give one example with a reference to Manishji. Manishji said, I am buying a quality from China. Whatever they are giving, I need not to see the quality, because whatever they have declared, it is coming. Wherever in our case, whatever we are declaring, it is never same thing. So if you see in the Indian textile industry, the company who is ahead of the quality is only who are declaring the whatever they are making and they are giving. That is very much important for us, that whatever we are making, if we are giving, somebody said, oh, if I will declare my quality, I will not get the price. Yeah, that may be a first time, but then the loyalty with your customer is also very important, because customer will give you the one time order, but next time you will never get it, because you whatever you have declared, it is not the correct balance. So many things in a textile industry, there is so many ways to improve the quality part. uh, like as I say, quality circle is there, then the kaizen is there. So many things are there which we have implemented in a uh, RSWM, in a Soma textiles, so that the level of quality we can achieve, like what the other countries are doing. This is what I would like to add in.
Very well said, sir. In fact, आपने एक बात जो कही, I can tell you this just last Saturday I was part of a panel discussion in Bombay, and निकुंज जी बगड़िया कैन एंटरप्राइज, उनको एक चीज पूछा गया था पैनल पे कि सर व्हाट इज द वन एडवाइस यू गिव टू इंडियन टेक्सटाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, एंड ही जस्ट सेड वन शॉर्ट स्टेटमेंट. ही सेड जो बोलो वो करो.
Exactly.
अगर आपने कुछ प्रॉमिस किया है कि ये चीज आएगा तो बस वही आना चाहिए. As long as जो बोल रहे हो वो कर रहे हो, everyone has scope to
Yes,
grow.
yes. And I don't know why the Indian mentality is like this way. In fact, sometimes I also attract with that. Okay, I will not get the order. Okay, I will not get the price if I will say this is the quality. But the fact is that when you declare the quality with your customer, then it will be better. You will get the loyalty that okay, this guy is giving this quality, and they are
Absolutely.
declaring.
No, absolutely, sir. With that, my next question is for Vilas ji. Sir, how would you describe quality in Indian textile industry at present?
For me, a quality is that it is a customer index by which I get a repeat order. And the same customer give a mouth publicity to others to give more and more order is the quality parameters for me. We are all textile engineers, and that's why we need to engineer our product as per the customer's requirement, not as per what we want, because every customer desires a different engineering of a product, and in general, we are over-engineering our product. Well, we talk about the quality and the durability. We want quality with a higher durability. But to be honest with everybody, are we using our garment more than 3 years? So what is the life of our garment? So we need to really work out the quality, convert the customer's desire into the engineer parameter, what you call your micro value will give you the softness. Then the chemical finish will give you a softness or hardness. So those are the whitening index will give you the what is the bleaching quality and all. So that we have to convert, because If we show a certificate to the customer that we have got this certificate, they are not bothered. They want the quality. Another thing which is very important, which I would like to mention, and I've been telling everybody, we see a front appearance of a fabric. We try to give the fabric a very good finish, but that finish is seen by the others. So others get impressed. But the main fabric is touching our body is not having a good finish. The feel where it is touching to our body is not being taken care at all. So after so many washes, the parameters of the face value remains better. And that is the reason we feel, अरे वो अच्छा दिखता है मगर पहनने को इच्छा नहीं होती है. That is the reason. I am an old person working with the old textile industry. We used to do a calendaring for most of the fabric. Why calendaring? Because calendaring at one side, which is the inside of a fabric, which gives you touching to your body. I work for a Murarji Brahmana. It's Italian. I had taken a training in the Italian companies regularly. They never talk in terms of the quality parameter, but they always Italian talk about the feel of a fabric, appearance of the fabric, washability of a fabric, that they talk. How many washes? 10 washes, 25 washes, 30 washes, that's all. So these are the true parameters. And if we really take care of such things, I think still today, we are buying a lot of imported goods. Though Indian textile is not making those things. The one more thing which I would like to add, nowadays you go to the mall, buy 2 and get 1 free. The free is also with the quality of what you buy with the price. You are not going to accept any with bad color or anything. So this is the quality. Even if you are giving free, it needs a quality. Next is the Amazon. You should be ready to accept your goods back without any reason. Once we change that culture, then the quality will automatically come. That is my take.
I look forward to those days. Can say these questions asked return. But some great points there, sir. With that, my next question is for Vikas ji.
Sir,
since you-
Pratik ji,
Yes.
can I interrupt in between?
Sure, sir.
Vilas ji, you said one very good thing that you are doing calendaring and all that, and then customer is happy with that. In between, I was thinking that I would like to share one more thing here. When we are talking about quality in textile, I have seen so many variant is subjective. You cannot measure it. When we
Yes.
are talking of drape, I mean to say you cannot. I mean to say there is no any feel is again not able to. I mean to say measure it. Where we are, I mean to say when we are talking about textile, if I will talk about the shade, I mean to say yes, there is also spectro and all these things is there. But then when we are talking about the measuring the on spectro delta E, A, B, C, whatever, you know very well you cannot judge with that things. So it is very difficult for us. Is only and only is the experience is important in a textile, and when you have a very good experienced people, you will get the right quality. because I have never, I mean, to read in a book that how the such subjective quality we are able to judge in a books. By reading the books, you will never get the idea that how we can get. What is your opinion on the that subjective type of quality? I'm sorry, Pratik, I'm asking because
No, no, I think it's a
Yeah.
great question, sir. Thank you so much
See,
for bringing that up.
what we are testing, whatever we are testing is hardly not even a 1% of the product,
yes, that is what
what you are producing. So
perfect.
if we derive our parameter of a 1% is wrong. You know, I was working for Tata's and we were the first to make a parachute cloth.
Yes,
And that time, the inspector used to come and measure every 4 meter, because the one parachute is made out of 4 meter.
yeah,
So our testing or certification has got, truly speaking, no meaning for the customer. If you show a customer, this is my certificate, they don't bother. So we have to keep it in mind. See, I'll tell you, again, I'm going to the Italian culture. In an Italian culture, as you rightly said, there is a customer's name, and that is flowing with the material. And the operator know what that customer wants. That's all. No, what is parameter, nothing is written.
yes,
Yes, CV, nothing. If it is the customer. Second, I had a very big inning with the Escumars. We were selling the fabric without having any unit. We bought the first unit as a Siram mill, where I was the president that time. But we were manufacturing everywhere, where our board was only specifying what we want, that's all. So it is what you say is right. Training to the people, you see, simple thing. Our average Indian worker is very good. You and I may not be a very good in operating a mobile, all features,
yes.
but the servant coming to you or driver coming to you may be a best. He must be making use best of the all feature.
True.
So what we need to do is really have a true training, no book training, but the true training to the workers. That is required.
Yeah, true, very true. I think what we should do more focus on the process quality parameter instead of product quality. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
विलास जी ने एक बहुत अच्छी बात कही थी कि 1% का टेस्टिंग होता है. Actually, I have an open question. Whoever would want to answer this one. Do you feel we as an industry are proactive when it comes to testing? And what I mean by that is कि हमारे पास जब मटेरियल आया हम टेस्ट करके कंज्यूम करते हैं या कंज्यूम करने के बाद कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ गया तो हम टेस्टिंग लैब में भेजते हैं कि भाई प्रॉब्लम आ गई बताओ कि सीन क्या है.
Okay, let me answer this question. I mean, I don't think our Indian industry now is so backward. We are definitely testing our inputs. What we are lacking is in process control. We do not audit our processes. We do not revisit our process, whether how to make it improvement. Risk assessment of processes, normally only 10% of the industry is doing. Otherwise, they don't do it. But as far as physical parameters are concerned of the input, people are checking everything. Now it's common practice. So we are always checking our input and still getting troubles. And that is the reason of process control, lack of process control, lack of auditing processes, lack of reviewing processes. This is not done in a systematic manner. It is done only when a problem comes. We are very good. Indian industry is very good in firefighting. You bring any type of problem, we will find a solution. But we do not focus on, we will keep persons for that. troubleshooters we will keep. We do not keep person to review our process and audit it and, you know, make it more, how to say, reliable. That I can say.
No, absolutely, sir. I mean, where I was coming from is when we speak to a few testing labs, like for example, recently we had an interaction, one of the panel members was the director of Mantra. So I asked him this question कि आपके पास अभी भी, let's say for example, yarn cones आते हैं testing के लिए, could be IPI, could be CSP, could be action cone. आपके पास जितने भी cone testing के लिए आ रहे हैं, how many times you see कि test result में कुछ disparity दिख रहा है या नहीं दिख रहा है? और अगर mostly अगर disparity दिख रहा है, that means weaver ने problem आने के बाद ही count भेजा है. Whereas if you look at global best practices, manufacturing industry का best practice है बोलते हैं कि आपने अगर raw material खरीदा है, पहला आप उसको टेस्ट करो. If you feel कि हाँ test results are accurate, it is reliable कि जो मैंने खरीदा था वही आया है, then you consume it, otherwise you return it. Right? India में we have seen there are certain large corporates which do have this practice. We know a few factories जो माल unload ही नहीं करते टेस्ट करने से पहले. But isn't it that at a larger level, most use cases they just consume it and then we realize कि ठीक है problem आया तो फिर Myntra's,
I can say that
Adidas
for
वगैरह बेचते हैं.
in the export industry, I think people are testing raw material before consuming it. In domestic industry, maybe there are shortcuts. So I can understand that. Again, it is, you cannot test 100% everything. टेस्टिंग में भी भेजते हो तो आपने रैंडमली कौन बना के भेजा है टेस्टिंग लैब में, वो या आपने सेलेक्टेड कोर्स को ही चुना टेस्टिंग के लिए. इसमें बहुत सारे लूप होल्स हैं, तो ये बात तो डेफिनेटली है, बट द ओनस इज ऑन द पर्सन हु इज गोइंग टू यूज इट. तो अगर मैं धागा खपा रहा हूँ तो आई हैव टू टेस्ट द यार्न इन द ट्रू स्पिरिट, पिकिंग अप. AQL सिस्टम होता है, उसके अंदर आप, देयर इज अ सैंपल सिलेक्शन मेथड, you have to honestly do it. And you know, this was taught to by one of my professors. एक दिन वो क्लास में आए, हम गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज से मैंने बीटेक करा है, और गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज में यू नो हाउ द माहौल इज. एंड one fine day he said, he wrote something on the board and he said, this is your homework, class is over, tomorrow I will talk about it. तो वो होमवर्क करने का तो कभी कॉलेज में कैसे, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में कैसे होमवर्क मिलता है? तो पूरी क्लास ने किसी ने करा नहीं. वो आए नेक्स्ट डे, उन्हें एक आदमी का नाम लिया, भैया तूने होमवर्क करा है? उसने बोला हाँ करा है. तो बोले ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब मैं एज्यूम करता हूँ सारे बच्चों ने करा है. तो इट इज, यू नो, द कंसेप्ट इज लाइक दैट. सो इफ यू आर ऑनेस्ट विद यू, तो ना, ही टॉट मी ऑन दैट डे, this is the trick, you know, and the mindset. That's why initially when I told, the mindset has to be quality oriented. You have to be truthful to you. अगर माल रिजेक्ट हो गया तो हो गया, तो शॉर्ट करके यूज करेंगे, ये माइंडसेट नहीं है. माइंडसेट ये कैसे तो भी पास करा लो. So this is the definitely it is there. And see, these labs are not cheap, they are costly. गवर्नमेंट ने पैरेलल स्ट्रक्चर खड़ा करा है, सिट्रा, अटीरा, सिट्रा, बिट्रा सब बना दिया, वहां पर भी टेस्टिंग करते हैं लोग. बट यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट अ वे ऑफ हाउ टू मैनेज इट. एंड ऑनेस्टी से अगर करेंगे तो लाइक किसी ने बोला था कि यू डोंट हैव टू hide the problem under the carpet. In textile industry, if you hide, it becomes a bigger problem. You cannot hide, you have to face it. So that is basically mindset changing is thoroughly required. And सब लोग अपना अपना चेन को पकड़ के अगर समझाएंगे तो इंडस्ट्री वाइड हो जाएगा ये. There are big players in the country, and like RSWM, like they have trained their supply chain to provide reliable products. जैसे हमने मराल में करा था, जैसा वर्धमान करता है, जैसा अरविंद करता है, ये तो बिग प्लेयर्स हैं. They can drive this, and then industry wide you will have some sense of quality.
Right, absolutely true, sir. विकास जी, because quality कितनी बात हो रही है, आपसे जानना है कि what is the impact of quality assurance and all these practices on cost? Because the way we see it, जितने भी छोटे manufacturers especially, उनको अगर इंटेंट भी हो कि हाँ ठीक है मेरे को क्वालिटी इंप्रूव करना है, मुझे XYZ प्रोसेस करना है टू एंश्योर आई एम आल्सो एबल टू गिव consistently good quality, but the cost element that is attached with those practices and the effort cost that is attached with it probably kind of refrains them to do this. So aapka, what is your view on this?
Yeah, I think my learned friends have already spoken a lot on various aspects of quality. And yes, it is true that quality is a state of mind. तो वो कहते हैं ना कि ताजमहल जो है वो आगरा में बाद में बना, पहले वो शाहजहां के माइंड में बना. So I am very firmly of the opinion that your quality starts here, starts in your mind. Once you conceive something and you believe that you are going to make a project which is going to be a world-class project, all your processes, whether it is procurement of raw materials, making of the buildings, machinery, plant, etc., people, training, engagement, everything happens in that very, in a very flow method. So I think this is very important. In the beginning, you had mentioned that, India mein kya lacking hai? Why are we not, amongst the top exporting countries? Because you have to be export oriented in the mind. And if you are not, then you may sell, but then you will have other associated issues coming in, which I will, briefly touch upon. Quality always comes as at a cost. So it is very important, and it has been my experience when I started as a young engineer in LMW and Voltas. I used to direct ring frames and then went into textile machine marketing. I had some years, then we were with ATE, or Truschler, then my last stint with Sorer. Piyush was in RSWM, so the last batch का जितना भी जो sensor की जो roving frame गई है, that was in my time. He was also talking about LNJ, denim, the ring frame हमने supply की. तो ये सब जो है ये कैसे हुआ? Despite being costlier, machines were taken based on the performance. We designed the machines based on LNJ's requirement. So we understood the requirement. We made the machines as per the requirement. What was more important was the cost of ownership, not just the cost of the machine. So these are very important parameters when we talk and when we discuss about what is quality to me and what is quality to my customer. Now, when we talk about, say, yarn, okay, if you have an effective bale management in place, where the cost of the raw material is more than 50%, you have already made a cash profit on that. Now, it all depends upon मेरी जो quality parameters जो end user की है, क्या मैं उसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए उस तरीके का yarn दे रहा हूँ. Like Vilas, you were saying, I don't need to make the best product. I need to make one of the best. It should commensurate with the end users or with the buyer's requirement. It should be consistent. It should have a continual improvement. But my focus as a manufacturer on the price has to be there. Otherwise, I lose out. I sell a good quality yarn, but I lose out on the profitability of my company. So this balance is very important for us to maintain, whether you are a yarn manufacturer or anywhere in the textile value chain or in the machine manufacturing. So this this balance of quality and cost is very, very important for us to maintain. Another aspect of a quality on cost, which maybe not discussed here or maybe which I would like to say, is on rejections. Whether it is machines, whether it is yarn or any commodity, if your quality processes are pakka, right the first time, your product goes, gets sold, gets consumed, that's it. You don't bleed. Rejections, and rejections are not just the cost of the rejections. Rejections are also consequential damages. The FOCs which we do, these are all a part that somewhere down the line, somewhere, the tweaking of the quality has been slack, or the management has faulted somewhere, and this has resulted in a faulty process, or maybe the process is right, but nobody is following it. So that's where the employee training and engagement becomes very, very critical. So quality and cost are really very critical, because in India, my major, I'm speaking, say, from a spinner side, my major production is on commodities. So commodities जब होते हैं ना, तो उसमें आपको value addition करने का बहुत avenues नहीं मिलता है. The market is one. 40 का अगर यान बेचना है, 40 कोट का अगर आपको बेचना है तो वो है. अगर वो carded है तो वो अलग है. So these are all set things. How you work, come back, and then do your calculations backward, and then make the best quality yarn out of that, and then sell. That decides your profitability. When you're in a niche market, there is nobody near to you because you have established your market. Like there are mills from down south who are making 316s or 400s yarns, and they're supplying to them. Nobody can match them. The production is 1 gram per spindle per day. 1 gram per spindle per day. The machine runs at 3000 RPM only, the ring frame. Okay, but that's a niche market. So why I'm taking all of us through different aspects is that quality is required everywhere. Based on which segment we are operating in, we have to ensure that I have to have the optimum quality at the best cost possible, utilizing the resources, that is men, material, machines, everything. And then, of course, my training becomes very important because it has got a direct impact on the quality. When I was working, I used to send people who were from the shop floor, either in the machine manufacturing, to see what one mistake from them in the assembly has created for us at the site where the project has got delayed. I have to send huge amount of FOCs free of cost, and the entire profitability bleeds out from my margin. So quality and cost becomes very important when you look at these parameters. So a very important point which you brought it up, that wherever we are, at whichever part of the chain or along the chain, we must have a very solid focus on the quality and its cost, and its impact must be drilled down to the whole team so that there is a single point consensus that, hey guys, we need to really pull up our socks, because here is where we fail possibly, and we don't give ourselves a second chance of doing the same thing. So the profitability of a company is absolutely directly relatable on quality and cost.
Very well said, sir. A very related question to that, and would a follow-on question to you, and invite Amitji also to share his views on that question, which is brand image and quality. Like, how can a brand ensure that its image accurately reflects the quality of its product or say service?
It's a very pertinent question. Like I said, brands can be created every day, but the image of the brand, create and sustain it, takes huge number of time. And during these times, the consistency of the product and the services, the deliverances of the company to the customers, how they handle customer grievances, whether, like Vilas was saying, Amazon, refund, no questions asked, refund. Earlier, रिफंड करने के लिए हम लोग इतना बड़ा शीट तैयार करना पड़ता था, उसमें दुनिया भर के हम लोग को ये करने पड़ते थे, and then we said to hell with online shopping, I'm not going to do it. But today no way. आज तो मैं एक चाइनीज का डिश भी अगर रिजेक्ट करता हूँ ना, तो बेचारा होटल वाला दूसरा लाके दे देता है और बोलता है ये भी रख लीजिए साहब.
और मे बी 100 रुपए एक्स्ट्रा डिस्काउंट कोड नेक्स्ट परचेज के लिए.
Yeah, my daughter does it. I say you are a nightmare to Swiggy, she does. But on a more serious note, what are these companies trying to do? They are trying to build a trust. For them, not charging for that one dish is more better than to not have a customer at all. So brand loyalty, so brand image becomes so important in any field of operation which you have, because that brand image has got the whole company, not just the company. You have your vendors, you have your suppliers, you have the whole chain or the gamut of people who are behind, who have been behind to build this, and more important, your customers, not just customers, repeat customers. Repeat customers is the mantra to any company saying, hey guys, I have this many number of repeat customers. Even on an online shopping today, earlier, a company used to revel in the delight, मेरे website पे कितने hit आते हैं, इतने लाख hit आए हैं. But business, that's another question. So today, even on an online shopping, the success of that is always decided by your loyal customers, your repeat customers. How many customers have come again and again to shop? So the methodology of shopping is changing. Customers are changing. The preferences are changing. Customer is becoming more impatient because he has got more number of choices. And that's where it hits the company, because they also have to pace up their requirements to meet those customer requirements. And that's where cost again comes in. So if your quality of your product, like one of my learned friends was saying, is impeccable, first time right, then at least you don't have to worry about the other aspect of it. You only have to worry about maintaining that quality, do a continual improvement on that, incorporate new things which are happening in the world here, so that my customer from here doesn't have to go out and buy. पहले हमको jeans available नहीं होती थी. जब मैं बच्चा था तो Wrangler की jeans इंडिया में available because there was no import. और अमेरिका से आने वाले लोग कितने होते थे, तो एक मेरा दोस्त था जो मर्चेंट नेवी में था, उससे फर्स्ट टाइम रैंगलर की जीन्स मैंने मंगवाई थी, वो भी फिट नहीं हुआ बिकॉज अमेरिकन 34 इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम एन इंडियन 34। हमारी कमर उस समय 28 की होती थी, तो फिर उसको मैंने हमको दर्जी से करने, दर्जी के पास वो धागा नहीं होता था। सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड देयर एंड फॉर द गुड। I think India is in a very right sphere, in a very right phase right now. But becoming manufacturer to the world, is still a bit away because we have to have our capacities. Like I was saying earlier to you, that economies of scale, the capabilities, unfortunately not here at the moment, and it will take some time. It may take a decade, almost for India to become a manufacturing hub to the world. We have started. China started much back, and they ran. They took the whole thing and they ran. So their capacities were humongous, tremendous, even today. So India has to really, irrespective of whichever government, coming back to the importance of quality, coming back to the importance of how we are going to maintain quality, how different manufacturers, big, small, and medium, everybody will have to look into their areas of competence and how one could be resourcing. I don't need to manufacture everything. Like Vilas ji was saying, कि हम लोग बिना manufacture किए हुए हम लोग बेचते थे. So your sourcing could be one of the most important aspects. How you are going to do it. Your pricing could be very important, and branding is something where it becomes very integral to your product. So after a certain point of time, जैसे वो कह रहे थे कि हम लोग वो चाइनीज वाले से तो हम लोग पूछते भी नहीं है, खाली ऑर्डर देते हैं और वो आ जाता है. This is an intangible thing. It is not tangible, right? But this is something which has come out of experience, out of repetitive orders, and those repetitive right doings give you that trust. So this cannot be, put on a paper and calculate. nahi kar sakte. This comes from experience. This comes from relationships. So another very important thing when we talk about branding is relationships, how we maintain relationships. I've seen the worst of the worst. I've seen the best of the best. But in the worst of the worst, the people with whom we had excellent relationships, they stood by us. Business ek jagah pe hoti hai. They stood by us. And not black, not white. It was always the gray area in times of acute, distress, which gave help because that was where the trust was there. So लिखत पढ़त तो होती रहती थी, लेकिन the trust between two people, two companies was very important. So employee engagement as well as customer engagement becomes very important. Internal customers, external customers. So your brand is a recall. कि अगर मुझे जूता लेना है तो मुझे इतने चारे हैं, वो भी रिकॉल होता है, लेकिन उसमें से मुझे कौन सा लेना है, it's purely based on experience and a word of mouth. And word of mouth comes from a loyal and a satisfied customer.
The very interesting food for thought. आपको एक online business देखते हो, digital business देखते हो, the two very important parameters of KRAs or metrics for them is A, repeat purchase, as you said, and B, return rate. Right? And I think ये दो पैरामीटर को अगर ट्रेडिशनल टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री मैन्युफैक्चरर्स अगर फोकस करना चालू करेंगे तो शायद वो ही अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा चेंज एजेंट हो सकता है.
अगर आप अपने सिर्फ जो एग्जिस्टिंग कस्टमर को अगर पकड़ के रखें ना, that itself will sail you through in times. Because कोई नया कस्टमर आएगा, to him you are new, to you he is new. So how will the trust come? ये बहुत important है. Clutch to your keep to your customers with both hands. Yeah.
Absolutely. Amit ji, your views on the same question. आप तो global sourcing करते हो.
So
तो
I
global
always
sourcing का
feel
क्या
that
brand quality क्या play out होता है?
wrong delivery. So wrong delivery or non-delivery, these are huge issues for us. And I always say that, there are multiple complications which we have to follow when these two things come in place. And बहुत मुश्किल है समझाना लोगों को कभी-कभी. नॉन डिलीवरी या रॉन्ग डिलीवरी में जो हमारा कमिटमेंट क्लाइंट के साथ में back in Europe is then creates a huge complication for us. There are penalty clause. For example, if I have to supply to a discounter or to a private label to a retailer, and if I don't deliver goods or if I deliver wrong, then there are penalty clause up to 100% on the value of the goods. So, and India से unfortunately कभी-कभी जो जवाब आता है, सर क्या करें, sorry, आदमी की गलती हो गई. And we have paid 23% VAT on that. There is a 9.6% duty. There is a freight which has been paid. So 100% goods value, plus we have paid additional 40-45% loading in terms of those additional things, duty, VATs, custom clearances, inland haulage, etc., etc. प्लस कस्टमर के यहाँ से जब क्लेम आता है 100% डिलीवरी का, नॉन डिलीवरी का या रॉन्ग डिलीवरी का, तो इट्स अ डिजास्टर, इट्स अ नाइटमेयर, एंड देन यू डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू विद दिस गुड्स व्हिच आर लाइंग इन योर वेयरहाउस। आप इंडिया वापस भेज नहीं सकते बिकॉज वो आपको एक्सप्लेन करते हैं कि भैया हमारे यहाँ तो कस्टम्स में प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, देयर आर नंबर ऑफ कॉम्प्लिकेशंस, आप एक काम करिए प्लीज, आप भेज दीजिए माल को। कस्टमर बोलता है मेरा लेबल है, यू कैन नॉट सेल द गुड्स इन यूरोप। अब वो कहाँ बेचे हम? सो आई सेड सर आप ही बेच दीजिए, बेटर रहेगा। सो दीज आर चैलेंजेस नो डाउट अनडाउटेडली फेस्ड in the industry, but what we have seen across over the years, and especially in this new India in last 4-5 years, yes, things have improved, changed. लोगों को समझ में आता है, now people are well traveled, they understand, and when we explain to them, we keep telling them, सर आपसे कुछ गलत बन गया है तो आप हमें बताइएगा, we will be able to find a customer appropriate for that particular quality, but please don't ship anything wrong, or if there are 10 cartons which are wrong, you please tell us कि ये 10 carton आप उसे mix मत करिए। I will give you a very very छोटा सा example. We delivered to a client 900,000 pieces of cushion covers. अब कोई वर्कर जो है उसके क्या दिमाग में आया मालूम नहीं, 20,000 कुछ पुराने लेबल थे उनके यहाँ पड़े थे, वॉश केयर लेबल्स, उन्होंने वो लगा दिए, बोले 900,000 में 20,000 कुछ नहीं, क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है। बट व्हेन इट वेंट टू रिटेल स्टोर्स, द बारकोड्स वर नॉट स्कैनिंग। एक स्टोर से कंप्लेन, 2 स्टोर से कंप्लेन, 2800 स्टोर में माल था। We had to call back the entire goods and to find that 20,000 pieces. Imagine the kind of disaster. So कितनी बार quality right है, but the culture in which people are working, जो स्टोर में कुछ जो लेबल्स दे रहा है उसने मिस्टेक कर दिया, वर्कर को तो ध्यान नहीं था, उसने ही मिस्टेक किया, बट ऑब्वियस। Then we had a problem, the goods were packed on a pallet. The pallet में fumigation, yeah, there were other problems. So there are n number of issues in the industry which could be faced. कितनी बार कार्टन जो हमने 5 ply बोला, हमने 7 ply बोला, उन्होंने 5 ply या 3 ply यूज कर लिया। So when the goods literally reach to the consignment or the consignment which reached to the warehouse of the client, literally from the cartons, goods were, barging out, अब वो कैसे समझावे? आपने जो है वो पूरे प्रोक्योरमेंट में 3 ply और 7 ply के बीच में आपने $1,000 बचा लिया होगा, बट आपने जो है 40 लाख 50 लाख के माल को लाख रुपए बचाने के चक्कर में खराब कर दिया। सो ये जो कल्चरल चेंज है वो वेरियस लेवल्स पे आना जरूरी है। कितनी बार राइट क्वालिटी आ जाती है, बट देन देयर आर अदर कॉम्प्लिकेशंस व्हिच वी सी, गलत लेबलिंग, गलत क्वालिटी ऑफ कार्टन्स, multiple things which could happen. Besides non-delivery and wrong delivery, you can see that these are things which we face as foreign buyers. But हमने सुधार देखा है इंडिया में, and we see that repetitive order India में we are very satisfied. Overall, our experience of last especially 5-7 years has been extremely good. अगर समझिए 200 ऑर्डर गए हैं तो उसमें से इक्के दुक्के में प्रॉब्लम आती है, लेकिन now they have started addressing the problems. They say there are delays. What do we do? Is there some way, some scopes, and then we say that let us take an approval from the client. I have understood what is the issue. So communication is very important, I think, and that is what is missing at various levels. जैसे बाकी के पैनलिस्ट और एक्सपर्ट्स ने कहा कि it is quality, एक जो mindset है वो, and commitment is also a mindset where if you, and communication is extremely important in all these aspects. अगर ये रहेगा communication between the people who are into the manufacturing side or whether people who are on the sales side, they should exactly know what is really happening. Then we will be able to address to those issues or reach out to the right people for that particular product.
आपने सर ये जो लेबल की बात कही, लेबल की जो आपने बात की, I just remembered recently we had gone to this factory which is making territories for big brands like even IKEA, and when we went there they were actually manufacturing a range for IKEA, and that's when we realized कि IKEA ने एक QC का बंदा खुद नॉमिनेट करके वो फैक्ट्री में रखा हुआ है which is ensuring the quality on their behalf.
Okay.
So somewhere 2 thoughts came to my mind कि एक तो it's a great practice for IKEA to do to nominate one person who's ensuring QC, But the other thought that I had in mind is that probably they don't trust, the quality here as much. They are having to put someone, from their side to ensure quality products being shipped to them.
But how do you check from 900,000 pieces, 20,000 pieces, ki galat label lag jayega? Tell me, this is, ridiculous. But when it has reached to client's store for promotion for sales, when the labels were not, they were not able to read the barcodes, they said, there is something majorly wrong. You find out and tell us how many pieces are stores, So 2800 store में से हमने कार्गो वापस बुलाया warehouse में, kind of cost which has gone and the kind of stress we have gone through in that phase, one cannot imagine.
I really sincerely thank all of you for sharing, your insights, some great case studies, some great, knowledge with us on quality. Since we've already extended the time, significantly, before we conclude, if there's anything that anyone wants to add, we would love to hear your views.
I think, Pratik ji, so many things we have discussed, and yes, Amit ji said very good point, because many times, even today also, I am facing a issue that wrong label is there. In fact,
So,
very honest, in morning also, I got one complaint from my customer that your people has given a wrong, sticker in which the width is wrongly written. So yes, it's a very big issue. But in your case, you said some worker has put old sticker. So maybe has supervisor or anything has already appreciate him, because he said, I have used old inventory, sir. So maybe in factory he got the appreciation, but he doesn't know that what is happen at the customer level. That's a big issue. Because when you are talking, when you are pushing your people for the cost saving, they definitely sometimes temper your quality parameter also. This is again a big issue, because textile is doing running with a very thin margin, so there is a lot of issue of cost saving also. So when you are talking about how to reduce the inventory and all that, they play like this way also. So anyway, but definitely we have to focus more on the customer requirement instead of doing all these things. So this is what I would like to add. Not focus only on the cost saving and all that. It's better to also keep in mind about the quality, customer requirement basically.
That's where, when we are talking about the process parameters or the SOPs which we have in place must be puka. If one batch is over, throw that thing off.
Yeah.
तो ये जो है, अगर वो SOP में नहीं लिखा होगा ना, then it becomes an individual's choice. तो वो individual वाला नहीं चलता है. जब आप system में,
Yes.
when you are system centric, then person centric doesn't work. And when it works, it creates havoc, like this. So I think our SOPs, our process, our adherence to processes, and for that, continuous learning and development in a company is a must. Then only these things will get minimized.
Very good. And in fact, that various standards are available, that also we have to follow, like ISO is there.
मैं तो पीयूष जी के चिरपाल ग्रुप के लिए ही बोलूंगा, their 2 machines got burned down. रात को फोन आया कि भाई ऑटो कोरो, वी हैव सप्लाइड ऑटो कोरो, वी आर वन ऑफ देयर. तो अब जल गया. अब उसकी हमारी डिलीवरी जो है वो इतनी लंबी थी, तो हाउ टू डू इट, so that time, मतलब, I don't know, I know what we went through, but as a customer we stood through to them, because we knew that, जो प्रोडक्शन इन मशीन जब हो जाता है उसको, कुछ LNJ में भी हो गया थी ऐसे, so it is terrible. So then, we have to sometimes throw everything out and then concentrate first priority, to help the customers. So these go a long way, in helping each other, and then also understand why this thing happened, whether it was a process mistake, whether it was a machine mistake, kya kahan mistake was, so that you can plug it.
Yes.
Plugging it is very, very critical, so that we don't do the same mistake again. So that is why learning and development becomes very, very critical to an organization, specifically in these times now, where you have so much of legality, you are going across borders, there are laws of the country, and different countries are different. What is right to you is not right to them. So much so, मतलब Fair and Lovely हम लोग यहाँ पे बेचते हैं, but Fair and Lovely cream in UK falls under the racist this thing कि आप वो लोगों को गोरा बनाने के चक्कर में हो, तो आप ये प्रोडक्ट रेसिज्म है। तो यहाँ पे जो है वो जो शाहरुख खान भी है उसको जो है वो करते थे। तो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, अमित जी भी जैसा कह रहे थे कि हर कंट्री में जहां आप ऑपरेट करते हैं वहां पे व्हाट पिक्स व्हाट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द कंट्री, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अ ग्लोबल supply company to understand them sentiments, and then because at the end of the day many a times it is not just the product but the events which have led into that product being accepted or not accepted.
Right. Thank you so much, everyone. Really, really appreciate everyone sharing their insight. Really sorry for the delay. I know, we've taken much longer than we expected. But I'm sure that once this session comes out, I'm hoping with all my heart that this will at least start or create that awareness amongst the textile audience at large कि हाँ, there is a need to focus more on quality.
Absolutely. Very true. Namaskar and
Thank you, sir.
And everybody.